as Dardoch obviously has played the most jungle champions of anyone in the LCS. I believe Graves is actually one of the ones that he still hadn't played and has started repeating now. There's your first pick, Senna, though. Phreak going all googly eyes. I know. Seraphine.
Yep. And Rell going in right afterwards, I think makes sense. You know, of the unbanned champions, they're probably top 2. Olaf maybe, and that makes as well. So maybe they pick both of them. Who knows? But that does seem to be the sort of, I'm going to say A tier because they're not perma-banned. Like, the sort of believed S tier is like, okay, you're banning Udyr actually every game. Like, just, you know, no questions about Udyr's gone. Sometimes you leave Seraphine up, sometimes you leave Udyr up, and you should grab him when you can.
I think you should grab Rell for sure when you can for Dignitas and just put farming Seraphine now, because they actually didn't lock it in here. 400 Thieves is a little bit of a bait. I actually want to see the throwdown. I want to see what Huhi's counter to the Rell is that is so popular, because these two supports, as we talked about in our they don't let it go all the way through. I thought without locking in first pick here, they might let it all the way through. They don't let it go towards the backside, but still, as we had our check-in at the beginning of the day highlighting these two supports, Huhi has done so much for 100 Thieves, likewise for Aphromoo. They are both in-game leaders for their team. They're both playmakers for the bottom lane for their team. Big reasons why these are two of the bottom lanes that have some of the best stats in the entire league. It is going to be the Hecarim pickup once again here for Dardoch, though. Love it whenever you compare Hecarim with speed up and shielding champions. Guess what? Seraphine is perfect for this, allows him to team fight deeper than previously. Also love pairing the Hecarim with other dive partners. Alistar is a great one here, so it will be the farming Seraphine. You know, other things that can dive in from your top lane, like Shen or something like that, are always great to further empower the Hecarim as well. Yeah, and especially because it looks like you're going to be dive versus dive here, since the Hecarim is facing a Rell and Olaf already. Both teams are going to be hunting backlines.
Yeah, going to be one to watch for sure. Dignitas might have damage concerns overall, since every Seraphine's always going to go Moonstone. She's usually going to go Staff of Flowing Water afterwards, so you're not even giving Hecarim a lot more damage off of that pickup. Obviously, again, she's very, very good, puts out some decent base values overall, but you know, unless FakeGod's going to be on some kind of a cannon or something, you can sometimes be a little damage constrained. So that's one thing I'm going to be watched for, is what kind of champs are going for the rest of this comp. Is it, you know, a Seraphine mid with like a Jinx there for Neo, or an Ophelio, something like that, or what that comp turns into. But, you know, glad they picked it, and we'll see how the rest of the comp comes around, as 100 Thieves need an AD carry and a mid laner.
Well, it's pretty hard to play damage from topside into a Renekton unless you're going something like Quinn.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be, you know, a Gragas or something like that type of matchup for FakeGod into the Renekton. Going against Ssumday, you know, who he has looked up to and played under for so many years. Slamming this Renekton pick here in last pick of the first iteration of picks here for 100 Thieves, I think was really strong. And then banning the Gnar away as well. So let's see what FakeGod can try and come up with to play into it. I doubt that he actually goes the route and tries to play Quinn into Ssumday. This guy, you can't mess up one time as the Quinn versus Ssumday on the Renekton, or else it will all come crashing down. So I'm expecting it to actually be a fairly light damage Dignitas team when it all does round out here. Meanwhile, 100 Thieves, very standard for them, as we see it. And locking in the Orianna here for Damonte, it's been one of the better control mages for him, I would say, from the mid lane. He's got plenty of targets to put the ball onto for shockwave delivery, and this 100 Thieves squad is rounding out pretty smoothly.
Okay, Gangplank, there's going to be some damage up, but otherwise Dignitas were incredibly light on consistent damage. Zoe does not, you know, do DPS very much, and Hecarim was going to be only one there, but the Gangplank is going to round that out pretty well, add some much needed extra physical damage to the roster, and Tristana comes to fill things out for 100 Thieves. I still probably take 100 Thieves in a full-on front-to-back team fight, but that GP gets it closer.
Yeah, the GP into Renekton is such an interesting one to me, especially since like we said, you know, FakeGod looked up to Ssumday for so long and played under him for so long. Is there a mental block here? Because at the beginning for Gangplank, level 1, your Trial by Fire, your Grass procs, you can try and force Renekton off the minion wave so he doesn't get access to early rage and doesn't, you know, start pushing you in early. But a Renekton Olaf is definitely at some point in the game going to look for, you know, pressure on this Gangplank, dives on this Gangplank. If, especially quicker, if FakeGod does not utilize Gangplank's level 1 early possibilities of playing around it. So I wonder about the level 1s, if we do have, you know, invades or split maps actually to make it a better situation from the side of 100 Thieves. They do have Olaf, great at invading. Undertow threat gets you a lot of priority when invading for those deeper wards.
Okay, so a lot of eyes on what level 1s look like and exactly where Dardoch is allowed to go. If he's, you know, cut off from topside, and GP has to play safe on a turret, yeah, it gives a lot of room for Ssumday to make something happen. So that's where my eyes are going to be for sure. Thank you for the call out there, Kobe. And we are now on a Summoner's Rift here for a battle between second place teams here. Dignitas on one side, 100 Thieves on the other. A return to form for both orgs. 100 Thieves made it to finals way back when Aphromoo himself was on that roster. And now here doing well on Dignitas here with a bunch of more or less upstarts here. Redemption story for Dardoch here as well, of course, as he's been having maybe his best season overall in his competitive career. But 100 Thieves, they were one of the favorites heading into the season, tied for second, about where many expect them to be coming into their 11th game of the split.
And now many teams have tried to invade Dignitas level 1, and every time Dignitas have had their entire team committing to defending the level 1s and came out with first bloods in 2 of those invades with 5 members defending. This time around, Dignitas once again have stacked towards the defense for the level 1, and we get it again. So 100 Thieves have seen the previous 2 failed attempts of teams trying to level 1 invade Dardoch. They take a quick pass in there, just look at the Raptors, and turn right around. The payment has been in the past that FakeGod has had to teleport to the top side and give up his summoner spell. But because of the non-commitment here, he can just walk out this time. That does mean that there is 0 chance of Gangplank trying to use his level 1 Trial by Fire, Grass procs, Q spam to keep Renekton off the minion wave. And Ssumday gets right in there. He gets control of the minion wave. He's going to get rage stacking up as well and should have the experience lead. Let's see if Dardoch actually goes for some sort of early gank. Because he did Raptor straight to topside rather than doing Raptor red here, possibly because there was a ward that they saw placed down, so he knows that they saw him Raptor start.
Yeah, I think he's trying to find ways to dodge away from the vision and whatnot, to just pull it into the brush and then leave. He's going to smite the Gromp over and go for the double camp down there. But yeah, it means he's topside and he's ready to make any big plays. The one thing about this kind of clear is he will be level 3 off of the fact that Gromp or Krugs was in the clear, so that means he can go for like a devastating charge play. He's also not used any of his potions yet. He's just getting like very low. It's not like he's Olaf. He doesn't need to conserve that stuff. But now going to go back down and do the rest of the full clear. I believe this will let him dodge the Trinket Ward on the way back down towards red buff.
Yeah, and the main point here is that since FakeGod had to give up his level 1 on the minion wave and Renekton's going to be pushing, Dardoch doesn't want to get invaded. It's an Olaf Renekton topside. Yeah. And so he's like, okay, I immediately have to take away blue side just because I don't want Closer to be able to use pushing Ssumday topside to be able to counter jungle me. Aphromoo gets the timing. So many times we've seen this Alistar into the Rell, and even in the hands of Aphromoo, he pulls off the timing here, does get the Q interrupt this time around, so that definitely bodes well for the matchup.
Nice sidestep Damonte, but may still get Paddlestar down, indeed down about 300 HP thanks to the mid lane trade. Soligo doing a pretty good job over there. We'll see how much farm gets picked up on the other side. FakeGod doing his best to hold the waves up against Ssumday, trades a bit of damage back and forth, and ultimately he's going to be bleeding some farm. You know, it's going to be like 12, 13 CS to 20. That is obviously quite Ssumday favored, as that one minion is just out of turret range. Don't miss.
Yeah, I mean, again, the level 1s for Dig, they were rewarded so many times for defending level 1 on Dardoch's jungle, getting first blood often, and FakeGod committing down there. But in this matchup here for Gangplank, definitely does hurt that Ssumday gets to push with impunity, and Dardoch basically concedes that top side immediately, going for the quick blue quadrant jungle. Closer did use some time going for the invade there. You know, Olaf and Renekton did check and place the deep ward for themselves. But it means for FakeGod that he's got to worry as his lane pushes back out into dangerous territory, because they have not gotten any extra intelligence on Closer's position. No deep wards for themselves. Closer hasn't showed anywhere.
Huhi in a nice spot there, waiting for the lane to come back in. Wants to make sure he's doing the right amount of safety. He's like, okay, about now is when they'd both be back together. Don't overextend. Rell has no natural escapes. You crash down out, and your move speed is like 200, and they just chase you down. So
waddle in there with some heavy metal pants.
You kind of just lose. So, okay, you know, Huhi playing it the right amount of defensively. Says, okay, I'm back, whatever, no big deal. And they're back to the 2-on-2. Early tier pickup for Neo. Sure, it makes sense down there, plus the boots. Double Doran's Blade for FBI. Going to make him a little bit more all-in immune, but it is going to delay his Mythic ever so slightly. Nothing to really write home about so far. Ssumday and FakeGod reasonably close in farm. Still, again, a little bit Ssumday favored, but FakeGod trying to get a decent first recall. Closer figuring out where to want this Scryer's Bloom to go. Decides not to burn it to give his location away. Just going to try to go for an early dragon instead.
Yeah, and that Scuttle Crab disappearing now for Dignitas doesn't really matter at all. They saw him with their ward behind red buff, so here come the reinforcements.
Okay, nice rocking up play for FBI. Huhi right back in the front of the fight, but he's drowsy. Gonna take a big chunk of damage, and first blood comes through to Dardoch, ghosting in. FBI has to flash because Rock Jump was still down. Soligo cannot find the next target, but Sleep's coming up pretty soon. They may have the chase down. It's still the runaway for Orianna. That's gonna be a Sleep landing, but there will not be a chase in.
I knew this support matchup was going to be hype. Aphromoo flashes in, gets the stun onto FBI, getting his rocket jump out, and then immediately headbutts Huhi right out of the crash down, setting him up for the rest of his team. Soligo does land the sleep. Doesn't matter that his Q misses there, because Dardoch has plenty of damage. They wake him up and take the first blood money once again. Dignitas grabbing first blood.
Absolutely outstanding stuff right there. So, 300 gold lead right now to the Dignitas squad. Well done. As FakeGod very calmly lasts its minions under the turret. The first recall comes through for Ssumday, and Dragon is not on the board. But Closer, once again, back to the scene of the crime. This has been one of his best strengths. He is constantly on these dragons. Hunter Thieves so frequently has bot lane pressure that he can just go in for this one, and they're going to be fine to make that one happen. Dardoch going to grab the rest of the Raptors first, but they may not be able to play for this one. Afro in a really bad spot, gets Shockwave. Aftershock buys him a bit of time, but he's still running very low on health. She's not even Aftershock. He just managed to survive that long with Phase Rush somehow, and Dardoch finds a kill again onto Huhi, exact same as before. I don't know how Afro lived. Somehow he got away through a Shockwave on Alistar, but ultimately gets away with it.
He also just took that cleaver right in the face, trailing behind the rest of his team, and that doesn't kill him either. You can't take down the Moo. Afro survives again. Dignitas with an early game lead now. That is huge. They retaliate with Scuttle Crab there for Dardoch. He's now level 6 on the Hecarim after that play. What a look. Huhi got such a good combination here, and they even used the Shockwave, but Damonte's out of mana, can't get off another auto. Dardoch, once again, ease back Huhi, and there's your slow-walking Rell with the metal pants. Can't get her way out of the GP ultimate slow from FakeGod from the top side. He's even contributing, grabs himself an assist for it, and Dig starting out their match here, tied in a 3-way tie for second place with 100 Thieves and TSM. They are looking to push above the rest of the league and be the lone team in that second place spot.
Well, FakeGod may have to change his name at a certain point. You know, Imposter Syndrome, calling yourself fake probably filters into that one a little bit. You know, maybe consider just real God. You know, at a certain point, end of the season, you know, find yourself an LCS title, switch it around at some point. You know, I'm not saying right now, but eventually, if you find yourself in that kind of spot, you know, that's where you put yourself for.
All right, I got you. The one true God of top lane.
There you go.
Gangplank here for FakeGod. Did have to give up a lot. Did give his ultimate there, so, you know, I'm helping guys.
Yeah, really a highly skilled play.
Yeah, he's doing his job, though. He's trying to thin these waves. 100 Thieves have not been able to put extra pressure diving there. Ssumday is earning his money, though. I mean, Renekton, he's pushing up. He's grinding those turret plates off. So Renekton definitely is going to be quite strong here for the mid game, and we've seen what Renekton and Ssumday specifically can do for 100 Thieves. Despite Dignitas with the early 2 kills for themselves, they still are competitive in gold because, in large part, due to the CS lead here for Ssumday on the top side of the map as well.
All right, still playing defensively up there. He knows he's not the one with the attention. They would still want to gank bot side. There's FBI and Huhi are still flashless. Thank you, Observant, for showing us the... Yep, he's just like, in case you're watching me. Well, look, Hecarim is really easy to play, so I'm going to emote in between.
No, there's actually a story here, Phreak. The last time that he had played 100 Thieves, he died to Krugs. So every time Dardoch goes and kills Krugs now versus 100 Thieves, he's flashing his emotes. You're not going to get me this time, Krugs.
I forgot about that one.
Do yourself a treat and go back and watch that first 100 Thieves Dig game, by the way, because that's the Rengar game for Dardoch. He gets to do absolutely nothing with the Rengar all game long because 100 Thieves are so tanky. It did have a Krug death, so he gets the last laugh here.
Yeah, and then afterwards, go watch Dignitas versus Renegades from like 2015 and watch the Rift Herald and the Tower Dive. You know, we got bangers all around in the LCS. This time around, though, Dignitas not only have they won because of Baron plays earlier this season, they are honestly taking names right now again. 700 gold lead. Dardoch is the gold leader. Hecarim can certainly make use of it, at least through the mid game. I think super late Hecarim falls off a little bit, but there's plenty of runways here for this one. Bot lane under a lot of pressure, though, as closers come down to the side. It's going to be a couple of turret plates taken as the payment for the fact that Herald's being soloed by Dardoch.
Yeah, he's going to pick up Shelly, and maybe they actually are able to use it around mid lane. If you're able to get mid turret down, you know, at a reasonable pace here when you're running Zoe, it means a world of a difference. And Soligo has been one of the best Zoes in the LCS. You know, despite him getting so much flame, you know, so often from a lot of the community, Zoe has been a great pick for him, and he has been able to land consistent sleeps and poke for Dig, and even when he was on 100 Thieves to a degree. So I want to see this time around if he's able to get some lane power, you know, extra pressure pushing these minion waves out to go roam around. Maybe the Rift Herald is dropped there. He's already been able to work off one plate himself. So maybe that's a way for Dig to gain some map control back, because the side lanes are dropping very quickly. Ssumday gets another turret plate himself, and the Tristana bottom side has already earned 2.
5 plates so far. Nice recall stop there for FakeGod, but yeah, 800 gold worth of turret plates off of laning prowess compared to the 160 off Soligo pushing mid. That is making up for the majority of the kill gold in this game. It's why the score is close when you look at the top of that scoreboard. Obviously the one Dragon for 100 Thieves because the bottom lane pressure that's also been there. And look, 3 minutes to the next Dragon's coming across. It's going to be a pretty late soul, if any, but that is just the consideration to think about here. Aphro going to help spot the ward plays. 3 down to the bottom side, so Soligo knows to play it a bit more defensively. Mid laner is going to be pretty much equal farm as a result of all this one. And we'll wait for the next big play. Teleport is up for Ssumday, not for FakeGod, but that Gangplank has his ulti available, so he can at least participate somewhat if there's a fight somewhere else on the map. Essence Reaper done. That feels good. Stride Breaker order done for Ssumday. He can help get in on reaching a backliner and maybe try to lock down Neo or someone. Otherwise, everyone else still just farming up.
All right, plenty of deep vision here for 100 Thieves set up around this red quadrant as well. So 2.5 minutes left on that Dragon. Should be very easy for them to retain that vision control and set up. It has been turned around multiple times on them already. All of these bottom lane plays with Aphromoo here at the hands of Huhi going down on Rell both times. Now that he's got access to his level 6 ultimate, though, a little bit more punch behind this engage. Kind of risky position there from Damonte, but he's baiting.
Yep, Soligo kind of baiting as well, though, but now they realize it's a 2v3. Shockwave going to get stopwatched, but the re-engage could be scary. He misses the combo! He went too early, and Dardoch dives in for Damonte. Going to have a hard time finding the target, though. Soligo trying to get away from Olaf, who cannot be slowed, who cannot be stopped, who will knock down Soligo. But FakeGod's on the chase, going to kill him as well. That's a pretty solid trade. One on the board there for the Gangplank. Damonte with 5 HP stays alive. Dardoch wants back in. Headbutt to the flash pulverized setup for Aphromoo. The perfect play out of the Dignitas support. Dardoch knocks down another kill.
That was certainly greedy from Damonte. I was going to commend him for getting out of a crazy situation. Aphromoo, though, he's toast.
Re-engage comes across, pulverized out of 2 by some time. His ulti was still up though, so he's so tanky, and the charm comes across. He is not toast, he is the toaster, and the bread will fall. FBI's running away for his life. Ssumday finds one, but it's traded back as Dardoch kills one as well. Huhi finally on the horse, running as fast as he can, trying to get away. Ssumday also running, but the gallop coming through for Dardoch. Herald will charge mid and knock down plates in time, so Dardoch a little bit richer. Good summon by him, as out they go. The fight was close, but it ends up with Dignitas up 1,000 gold.
They finally took down Captain Aphromoo, but at what cost, Phreak? It was everything. It's now a 4-kill Hecarim for Dardoch. Look at how long this play went on. Starts out in the mid lane with the bait from Damonte. He then gets dangerously low to getting soloed by Dardoch on the outside, but Dardoch can't get off the last auto or Q as Damonte expertly flashes into the fog of war. Even though there's a counter kill here up on the top side, Damonte got out alive. And flashing into the fog of war would even break the auto if it had started to go off, but then he goes back into lane, gets punished. Aphromoo here on the run with no flash, popped his ult, and there goes the horn as the rest of the team arrives. Double teleports in here to avenge him even after his death. And it's Dignitas just keeping the play going, never giving up on it, and still being able to get that gold back.
Alrighty, and just back over the wall. I like that play a lot, the Hex Flash and a Blast Cone. It's pretty cute. I like it a ton. Good job, Huhi, getting away and you know, removing one of the avenues Aphro could take for a flank, and same for Dardoch, who can't natively get over walls. Regardless, though, still 1,000 gold game right here. Farm pretty close in most roles. That said, outside of the jungle, 100 Thieves are winning in all 3 of those lanes. So that is something to keep in mind. That their overall laning prowess is being answered by Dignitas doing better in the fights. We've got the Divine Sundera done for the 4-0 Hecarim there for Dardoch. FBI, yeah, Aphro kind of knows, like, yeah, you're going to have to rocket jump. I'm not going to bother with the headbutt pulverize. We might get turned around on, and the chance of a kill is, you know, 1%.
Yep, definitely not a good risk to benefit ratio there on that one. Dragon is up though, and everybody committing resources up towards the top side of the map. I wonder if they even get vision of some of these recalls here as 100 Thieves decide to reset. Dardoch has positioning. Remember, he's got a fairly large bounty on himself, so going for a deep tower dive.
Charge into the wall, cannot quite find the sleep though. Shockwave is out of turret range, so Dardoch is fine. The sleep finally lands the other half though. He walked back into it, but it's a bait because Closer was there. You mentioned the shutdown, it goes right over to Olaf.
Yeah, those types of risky plays, when you have a big shutdown like that and there is a dragon up, you are the jungler, your smite is so valuable. I think that's just what 100 Thieves would like. Ssumday here trading onto FakeGod actually takes a big amount of return damage, but because they took down Dardoch in the trade kill, 100 Thieves even setting up on the objective.
Yeah, not just a smite, but also most of their gold. A drowsy Olaf is a target for the dragon, and now a headbutt pulverize is going to find Huhi, who's going to run back away, stay alive. 1,500, no smite, easy pick up for Closer, gonna grab it, there you go, claims it. Could be asleep, still has the, no, does not have ulti, so FakeGod can find a combo. Barrel Chain's gonna come across. Here comes the re-engage for Huhi. Charm only goes on a 1, but they can certainly knock him down. The sleep, no, he misses the E, but it's gonna be enough. Neo finds 1, headbutt pull on a 2, that's gigantic, a flash of the wall for Closer, knocks down FakeGod. FBI safe as well, and Dignitas, they really only get 1 kill. It felt like the setup could have been so good, but everyone else gonna get away. Dragon claimed by 100 Thieves, overall a victory for the red team.
What an escape plan there for 100 Thieves. Ssumday still hasn't finished though. Hey, they got sight of him with that ward. Can he get out into the waiting arms?
Pulverize, get the damage. They get the damage in time to get Neo the kill. Aphro manages to slow it down enough that at least 1 more goes back, but 2 dragons to 0 makes me start to favor 100 Thieves here.
Look at this coordination, Phreak. Huhi goes in to engage with FBI on the 3-person squad for Dig, so that FakeGod pincering Closer inside the pit actually requires him to flash out, and even though Aphromoo gets the double knock up there, Closer flashes over, Ssumday dashes over the wall, and it just turns into a 1-for-1 trade. As I thought Ssumday might go deeper and try and recall on one of those deep rush, but he tried to walk his way out here, and Aphromoo and Neo do end up catching him, getting the extra kill in the end for themselves to quite the hilarious dragon party that we just had.
Alrighty, so staff going through for Neo for the big chunk of AP you're going to expect there out of that build. You know, very standard stuff there for Seraphine, of course. Either way, looking at second Herald now for Dignitas is a still 1,000 gold difference remains, but Closer going to find FakeGod. You can't really orange away from these slows. He's not going to go anywhere easily. That's going to be a lot of damage coming down. There's some big axes, and Closer on a killing spree, 4-1.
Closer has been so good at hunting down and punishing flashes previously blown here for 100 Thieves. This time around, after FakeGod had to use it to get out of the Dragon Pit and he follows, immediate follow-up here for him, returning to the Renekton lane, returning to Ssumday to get the extra gold here. Yes, it is going to be top tower traded and Rift Trail traded for the bottom push as well, but 100 Thieves happy to push very heavily on bottom side since they're the ones with the double dragons picked up for themselves, getting the extra gold off the kill onto FakeGod here, and leaving so many wards behind in this red quadrant of Dignitas jungle.
Now the wards we're looking for then. In Dignitas' jungle, in the bottom side, it's going to be hard to walk back in. Realistically, Cloud Soul is on the play before too long. We're 2 minutes away from the next Drake spawn. We've got people waiting around to see if they can dive FakeGod since they still control the bottom side. His trinket gets used and then taken back down. Dignitas trying the same up top, and Damonte plays it safely enough that he's fine. GP ult used to wave clear, but Ssumday still putting down a lot of damage on this turret, and honestly, he's sieging so fast, he's going to be alive. Honestly, whatever, he'll recall and walk back down. It's not going to be a problem. The top lane turret's not taking nearly the same kind of damage that this one just suffered.
And I do actually like kind of the option FakeGod went for this time around with the Essence Reaver rush for Gangplank. Definitely going to give him a lot of utility, but he still has been able to get off some good procs as well, and keeps his mana very, very good for control of the minion wave. I don't know about a minute and a half though for the setup. We were talking about retake of this vision through your red quadrant. Wait much longer, and that becomes so dangerous for Dignitas. They do have Aphromoo who can try and face check on the Alistar, and he's got flash ready, so even if he face checks and finds 100 Thieves, you can turn it into an engage opportunity, flashing in for, combo for Alistar, but it's not the scenario that you want to be in as a turnaround from a Rell Olaf engaged from Fog of War can put a big hamper onto this Dig team fighting. And then probably the only thing that really saves you out of that is an extreme Seraphine ultimate that locks up the entire team. So 100 Thieves, that's probably the main thing they're looking for as far as spacing out and keeping this vision over the river.
Looks like Soligo can't get to his second major item in time for this dragon as we're 28 seconds away, and he can't quite finish Rise and Focus. Meanwhile, a kind of similar boat for Damonte with the Verdant Barrier and Tier. He's nowhere near that point either. Staff of Flowing Water, though, done for Neo. So the one guy on, him and Ssumday really on 2 completed gigantic items. Dardoch kind of in that same boat. 10 seconds to go till that dragon spawns. FakeGod should be able to keep his turret alive. Get some decent damage there at a Ssumday as well as he builds towards slow this shield bow.
And that's why I like the Essence Reaver rush. Because, you don't rush your Mythic, but you're just blowing up the waves. Here we go.
Okay, CC on a 2. Huhi, though, still going to be waddling slowly, and there goes Dardoch, putting him right back in. Ungulate crime, and a kill comes across. Dignitas again on the board. 9-5 the kills, and Dignitas will indeed grab that dragon.
Shout out to Foxdrop for the vocabulary addition there. I love it. Dardoch again is able to charge Huhi back into the team. Another death. They're just punishing this Rell so heavily. Low move speed there as she goes back into human form, and Dardoch got the perfect little angle there just on the other side, charges him back, gets the extra dragon for themselves. They cut off 100 Thieves dragon stacking and immediately look to pick up multiple objectives. Rift Herald popped, and that tower is gone.
Solo turret gold to Soligo as Heralds only share plates. They do not share turrets with their summoner. And so that is 300 gold in the pockets of Zoe, who's going to try to power spike soon. And, well, now we're at the part of the time where Baron becomes the possible setup there. That's going to start being where we go. Shelly gets the second charge off, so bot lane tier 2 incredibly low. If FakeGod ever gets alone time, that turret is gone to, trial by fire, Rasheen auto, and then 2 seconds of attacking afterwards. It's pretty quick. But 100 Thieves, they get to the river first. 100 Thieves are, I think, pretty clearly constantly winning the vision game. But it doesn't matter. Dignitas are fighting better.
They certainly are. And a lot of it is Dardoch's Hecarim play so far for them, and him getting a lot of these kills early on, funding this Hecarim so that he can actually stay in the middle with, you know, the Sterix gauge on top of extra armor now being built for himself. He's going to go even more tanky. Steel caps as well here. So that plus the shields and heals that will come from the Seraphine. Definitely looking like Dignitas have a very, very stable fight towards the mid game.
They've got a stable fight, but FBI is going for optimal single target DPS of the build. It is Phantom Dancer second on Tristana with Kraken Slayer. So FBI can absolutely take it to frontline champions. It's going to be a lot of damage here on the Trist. Something to really, really watch for. Halo Blades makes it kind of front-loaded. Means he can also kind of assassinate sometimes if he finds Soligo or Neo by themselves. Definitely, my eyes are still on this Trist because FBI can be the 1v9 champion with the build like this. Newly buffed Phantom Dancer is really, really outstanding, especially on Kraken Slayer builds. So eyes are on that Trist to be the big factor. Otherwise, yes, totally agree. Dardoch has been gigantic. He's been the primary reason for Dignitas doing well. And we'll see how much he can threaten the backline because he's going to be going for this Randuin's Omen, which is similarly going to cut that damage back down. The Pulverize is going to find it, going to keep FBI from rocket jumping away. Didn't even try. He's going to jump in instead. Big damage. I mean, you can see the amount of punishment there. Imagine if the charge was on the Squishy, that probably would have been a kill. All the same, ultis come across, and a Dignitas forced to disengage, blowing several summoners.
Yeah, clicked on the big old Alistar right there, so explosive charge on that target instead. But the punishment already unleashed, and during that time, they were also chasing Soligo back through the Dignitas territory here. So 100 Thieves pushing up on their side lanes. They haven't been able to get too much out of Ssumday's lead over FakeGod because we keep on panning over FakeGod, clearing minion waves, standing back with his Essence Reaver, double barrel chains, just focusing on the minions and adding his ultimate to the team plays. Now that he has his shield bow, he'll be a little bit more durable for these team fights. He still has to play it fairly cautiously though, and looking for these preset up barrel chains. Ssumday, though, just grinding away in that side lane, just continuing to slowly increase his lead, whittling away at towers, feeding up on this extra CS, and increasing that lead.
Yeah, 68 CS difference here between the top laners. Ssumday also up a level. This turret nearly gone, and no one's around to help him. FakeGod knows it. Playing far back. Lands a barrel chain, kills maybe a melee minion, but that is the turret down. 100 Thieves tie the score up 3-3. We know bot lane tier 2 is very low on their side as well. So again, if it ever goes the other way around, FakeGod can find something. But just trying to be safe, waiting around. Shield bow is on, but that shield, of course, can be popped by Renekton. So that is also a consideration to keep in mind. As now 3 full items are in for Ssumday. He's basically an entire legendary ahead of FakeGod. So if that Renekton's in fights, that's going to be the look. But he's only been part of 3 of their 5 kills so far.
I want to see, I'm just waiting for the Magnet Storm plus Shockwave combo from Huhi and Damonte. They still haven't been able to get a big one. There's a single target Shockwave that does chunk Dardoch, also procs his Sterix Gauge shield. But with 26 seconds left on the Dragon, maybe Dardoch even runs all the way back to base and back out here.
Does he finish Randuin's? Not quite. Doesn't have quite enough money, but gets a couple control wards. He's going to just gallop back to the map. But this is a fight that Dignitas clearly want to take, but 100 Thieves, not only are they there first, but they're there with the better wards. It'll be once again Dignitas trying to muscle their way through Fog of War to get it back. Maybe they can do it. Aphro might just try now, going for the flash, pulverize into the headbutt, and they're gonna find the damage. Aphromoo can do no wrong. Beautiful setup again, finds 2 more kills. Give this man an MVP already. Dignitas get the team fight in mid. It's time to run to the Baron.
It's 2021, Phreak, and people are voting Aphromoo onto the All-Star team. Talk about longevity. What an initiation there for him. He needs to get back over to the Baron, though. The rest of the team has started it up, and he's coming from mid. Might get sectioned off by these solo laners.
Closer has ult, he has flash, he has smite. Aphro has to kite away. He's trying to run away as Damonte's still on the chase. Shockwave is up. I mean, this is still going to be a bit of a scary 3v5. Neo can heal them, of course. He can shield them. That's the nice benefit. But yes, as we mentioned, Closer has everything. He can definitely make it in, so they try for the re-engage. They find Drowsy, but not on the right target. Throws with their axe, gets them more vision. There's a controller over the wall. Damonte getting chased down. Shockwave finds two. Aphro getting a bit low, and the respawns are coming in. FakeGod gets a shield popped up. Over the wall goes Hecarim, and it's already 3 kills. 100 Thieves turn it around. Dignitas could not get their whole team. They left Soligo back to keep it aggroed, and 3 kills are picked up on the re-engage.
Ooh, man, they're going to be able to pick up this Baron as well for themselves. Dardoch run off all the way to the bottom half of the map, and 100 Thieves with a huge comeback. Dignitas trying to turn off this Baron, but an incomplete turn goes completely awry. And now the table's been flipped. 100 Thieves are back on top here. Baron buff in tow. This makes it so much easier. Tristana now level 15. Huge range scaling up, and they will be able to melt through these towers. All right, here's another look at the attempted turn from Dignitas. They have a lot of turn possibilities, but Aphromoo's ult being blown as he walked over from mid lane definitely hurts their teamfight front line. You see FakeGod does chase off a little bit of the 100 Thieves damage dealers, but even flashing in, Damonte gets the shockwave, sets them up, and then there it is. Huhi comes over the top with the Magnet Storm, right on top of Ssumday. So the Renekton is able to dish out the damage. They pick up the extra kills, Baron afterwards, and they'll pick up all this extra standing gold in the outer towers.
And definitely feel like a split call for Dignitas. Dardoch and Soligo were staying in the pit. They got up to about 2,500, and Dardoch was like, screw it. We're going in. We're going for the fight instead. Sorry, Soligo, you can't join. We hope it's enough. And it was not. Damonte, a great shockwave. Huhi, great follow-up. Ssumday even flashed the fear. Damonte now the target of several ultimates. Clouddrake goes over. They delete the mid laner. But how about the re-engage, though? 5-on-4. Most ultis have been burned now. Dignitas can try to find their way back in. Huhi jumps away. They find the knockup, but the ulti is late from Closer. He was already airborne. He's not going to live through this one. The shield is popping. It will not matter. He cannot chase long enough. The shutdown comes through. But again, Dragon was claimed. It's one away from Soul for 100 Thieves, and Dignitas need to fight back through the 5v3 now.
A lot of split calls here, actually, as Closer just hard commits to that Dragon. They do burn through it at the cost of Damonte's life. They're not done, though.
Big damage possible. FBI still gets charmed up. They're going to find him, and they delete that poor Tristana. Just like the other Megalings, she is gone, and now it is the TP away. But he's on a ward. The Flash E means the root. Neo finds the setup. Ssumday may have the tools, though. He's going to try. The shield comes in. All right, they shut the down. They get the 600 gold for the pickup. It's 4 kills in a row, but because of that, there were no objectives claimed. It was just the 1,800 off the kills, and now a bit of a reset.
But it was during the Baron. So all these kills are picked up by Dig during the Baron. They completely negate all of the Baron power play 400 Thieves as they decide to trade Damonte's life rushing for that Dragon. They get another kill here under the jungler. And then in the reset, I want to highlight Neo. Neo has been such a good Seraphine so far for this squad. He's been able to set up so many kills, even while not being on the main damage dealer for the team. He is a big reason for them. Dignitas here, Dardoch kites right back to him. He lands the double charm through Ssumday, through Dardoch, hits the Tristana, makes it a very easy kill there for Soligo and Dardoch to pick off in the backside, and then flashes for the snare as well. Just really, really good stuff for him, playing for the team and allowing the rest of the damage dealers to pick up all these kills.
All right, quick stride breaker for Soligo. Help him kill a blue buff, maybe. I just want to see Zoe dash in a melee range for no other reason than to see a Zoe die from misplaying. But nope, not going to happen. He's going to be fine. 3,000 gold once again. Dignitas actually have grown their lead. I'm pretty sure 100 Thieves had a negative power play there. I'm going to guess. I didn't see the numbers. I wasn't looking, but Ssumday is basically all the gold. And we're at 30-minute Renekton territory. You no longer really want your gold leader to be Renekton anymore. You really, really want it to be Tristana or Ori. And that's just not the case anymore. So the gold, not in the best spots. You saw, like the last 5 minutes were Dignitas positive, except for the fact that 100 Thieves are on Soul Point.
Yeah, a lot of 100 Thieves over the past week has been a lot of the topsy-turvy moments where your heart is pumping, it's exciting, but there have been some big risks that have not gone their way recently, and it draws my mind back to earlier in the split, 100 Thieves winning every game, on top of the leaderboards here, new age of the LCS, and their coach is tweeting out, I feel like we could beat anybody right now, but we could also lose to anybody with some of the things that have gone on with their style for this squad being, so aggressive and so exciting. So we have seen in the last few days some of those looks, and Dignitas here now in this pivotal week where it's a three-way tie for second coming into it. If they're able to finish out this game with this lead and establish themselves as the #2 team, then they will silence a lot of the doubters.
Yep. It's looking good so far. Their 11th game of the season, and they're poised to take down their chief competition for second place and stay within one game of Sweethearts Cloud9. So far, so good. Dardoch and Aphromoo really, really leading the charge. Everyone else, honestly, putting up good performances as well. Do not want to sell them short, but the playmaking has been Aphromoo and Dardoch. They have been the ones to make the tough decisions. Is this the fight worth going for? All right, I'm putting my body on the line, and I'm making the call that we're going for it. They had one rough fight around Baron and immediately rectified that mistake. Setting up for what could be the climactic Dragon fight. Dragon Soul on the line. 100 Thieves would get Cloud Soul. Ton of move speed, even more ulti CDR, which honestly is pretty useful on a lot of these champions. And here we go. 30 seconds.
Hugely so, I would say, because as much as we are talking up Dignitas right now with the position that they're in, 100 Thieves on the precipice of getting a Dragon Soul, plus they have a big wombo combo available that they have not been able to execute cleanly yet. So many of their fights have been with somebody getting picked off or Huhi's engaged getting interrupted on the Rell.
Couple of stuns with Afro holding his ulti for now, has the auto-attack stun, not going to find it. Ward's not going to go down, Trinket comes in, but taken again. 100 Thieves continue to have ward control, but the team fights have just continually not gone their way. Big damage on Orianna. Dardoch is going to dive in, but stopwatch was burned. He's got to get right back out. Not going to find the poke onto Damonte. FBI forced to jump away. No charm coming through for Neo Seraphine. A reset onto the Dragon, going back into the pit. 100 Thieves split apart, but Dignitas have to be afraid of the fact that now they're, of course, flanked as well. Dardoch ultiless. The only ult they really have is Aphromoo's. 100 Thieves have 4, actually all 5 to use. So Dignitas give up on Soul. They say, we can't get this. We'll push mid instead, and we'll knock down an inhibitor turret. Dragon Soul goes over to 100 Thieves. Well played to 100 Thieves, but the wave is almost dead. It will still be enough to knock down the turret. But what about the re-engage? Without Shockwave, maybe it feels a bit safer, and they're going for the play. TP to re-engage. This 100 Thieves want to take this fight. And with Cloud Soul, it's certainly doable. Ssumday wants to find the backline. He's going to go in for it. Finds Seraphine. Big damage. Dardoch finds one trader right back away. And now the 4v4 continues. The move speed there. 400 Thieves. They chase into FakeGod. Burns the stopwatch. Ssumday, gigantic on the front line. Finds the kill on a Soligo. Gets Aphromoo as well. FBI going to clean up one for himself. Dardoch in melee range. Realizes, let's flash away from this one. But they will clean it up. 100 Thieves are going to find the last kill, or will they? The chase in on a Dardoch. He's running as fast as he can. He's going to try to dodge the exit, but he cannot. The Bud Light Ace for 100 Thieves. Onto the Baron they go.
100 Thieves finesse the Cloud Soul for themselves, and they get the trap here. Ssumday teleports right back in with the extra move speed. Even though Huhi is the sacrificial Rell right here, goes down immediately, they're able to take down all DPS here from Dig right from the start. Ssumday flashes in, finishes off that one, and FBI, I love it. Rocket jumps in for the slow, setting up his team, then flashes right back out there. You guys take care of the rest. They do finish off Dardoch with Closer being able to flash over for the follow here. Picking up Baron in the aftermath, and with the Cloud Soul and the Baron at their backs. This one back and forth Phreak here. This battle for second place finally turning. And again, that Cloud Soul for the likes of Renekton, Rell, and Olaf means a world of the difference. It actually changes what you can accomplish in these team fights with that extra move speed, as well as the importance of these ults for 100 Thieves.
Well, it's worth telling the other side of the story. FakeGod was talking about how he'd look at Ssumday and say, man, he's doing things that I just can't. You look at that fight, Ssumday, 7,500 damage in that battle. There's a 4-item Tristana on his team. There's a 4-item Orianna. Nah, Ssumday is the one doing it on the Renekton. Most gold on the team, most XP in the game, level 18. He is the one doing so much of the work in the cleanup. He was the big TP flank to help set up that fight. Ssumday is the man of the match for now 100 Thieves, the winning team. That was the one piece of the roster that came in and it's done a lot. Bit of damage on a closer. 100 Thieves feeling comfortable now with Baron on, with Cloud Soul on, sieging 2 lanes at once. Ssumday pushes in mid, top under fire. Wave clear, obviously not bad from the Dignitas roster. Seraphine pretty good at it. Has 1 more slot to go. Stopwatch inventory eventually. I think that'll be a death cap down the line.
And it's crit Gangplank as well. FakeGod doing his part here.
Yeah.
He is level 18, even though he's been gapped by Ssumday for most of the game. Still with some item slots to fill in, does have the crits here for Barrel Chain. So if he can get a good one onto the back line and a Seraphine ulti, 100 Thieves cannot get too lazy with their push. Huge advantage for them, yet they have to be wary of the long range. Seraphine and Gangplank Barrel Chains, very long range, can catch you off guard here. So as long as they watch out for that, 100 Thieves still able to keep Dignitas pinned inside their base and bleeding more.
Bubble not quite going to find the ideal target. Even if it landed, Closer could have always burned his ult and ran away. Stopwatch if it really, really gets bad. Zonia is completed for Damonte, so doesn't have to worry about the consumables, can just remain invulnerable to that kind of stuff. Bubble gets popped by Banshee's Veil. Siege, not easy. As you mentioned, the Gangplank barrels. The wave clear is quite good. Critting the entire wave down, even with Baron buff, they still die pretty fast. And Dignitas ultimately cannot crack the base, but guess what? Or sorry, 100 Thieves cannot crack the base, but we're 2 minutes away from Elder Dragon, and 100 Thieves, as always, are probably going to be the first ones to get ward control.
I love it. This is what we want from a second place marquee matchup here. Plenty of wards left behind after keeping Dignitas pinned inside their base. But there's an easy pathway here for Dig, just resetting, selling off some of these smaller item slots. You see even there, upgrade here for FakeGod, so he doesn't have to sell anything off, just upgrades to the Mortal Reminder, opening up another item slot here for some more control wards. Now they can group up, push forward, for some vision behind this dragon, plenty of time for them to work with, and then you just play your range. That's the big advantage that Dig have in this comp. Range, range, range. Gangplank barrel change, Zoe bubbles throwing out, and Seraphine threatening any grouping of 100 Thieves members with that big ultimate. It dissuades 100 Thieves from grouping up in those brush to try and pull off one of those surprise combos. And while they do have to watch out for the Rell, Orianna, Shockwave, and Magnet Sword combination, they have a lot of options to go for.
Headbutt, pulverized, damage to FBI. He's got to be careful. Afro gets low into the back line. Huhi finds a bit here, and now Stopwatch got to be burned. Soligo running away for his life. He's going to stay alive for now. The flash away, and he cannot stay alive. Neo is gone, and the chase down's going to be beautiful. 100 Thieves already picked up 2. They're going to grab a 3rd, no problem as well. Dardoch going to drop on top of that one, and Damonte, he will at least die, but the Hecarim will still fall. Soligo, the only one left alone. Ssumday, flash chase, Prowler's Claw got picked up, by the way, sold the Stride Breaker, so everything else, he wanted to make sure he could really, really reach the back line. And now it is time to end the game. It's 4v1, 100 Thieves on the back foot for almost all of it. But they still found the way through. They're going to wrest control of 2nd place for now. They will reach 8 wins. Only TSM can match them today. 100 Thieves build a gap above Dignitas. Soligo will fall in the end. The Bud Light Ace comes through one final time, and 100 Thieves will knock down Dignitas, going up to 8 wins.
Look at those reactions, too. Right before it ends, you see Huhi just hands over his mouth right here. So intense. 400 Thieves. Damonte a little confused this time around. Whoa, we still got the win. Going through all the emojis. Honestly, Closer's turbo focus on these dragons. They actually sacrifice people's lives in some of these team fights for the early dragons that they were able to stack up. At the cost of giving over Dignitas some early and mid-game control, some more map game control, people's death timers, and yet they stick it out. They get the fight around the Cloud Soul and also turning that into the Baron in a critical moment here. Dignitas, close for them. They could almost taste it, but 100 Thieves putting them back down and taking that 2nd place spot for themselves.
Yeah, the more chaotic fights got, the more chaotic they got, the better it was. When Seraphine wants to hit in a straight line and Zoe wants to poke, and it's like, well, there's Renekton on this side and Olaf over there, and there's the Orianna, and, well, we're going to collapse onto you, and we've reached your back line. Neo tried to burn Summoners, tried to burn Zonias or a stopwatch, and yeah, he got his ult off and died right afterwards. So a well-played game to 100 Thieves. A well-played game to Dignitas as well. Honestly, really, really close battle. Looking forward to see more of these teams in the future. I'm pretty sure they're both going to be playoff bound, so we'll see BO5s on top of that one. But that's it for the game, of course. On the other side, Lit Tigers will be speaking to Closer in our Verizon post-game interview, so we'll see you there.